Bonica.
Well, Pat, the incidents so far indicate to me that anybody who wants to argue for two referees on the field have got a very valid point.
Bella taking that one on the fly, and he's bumped away by Kevin Iro. The Kiwis up quickly in defence again. They'll be smarting after throwing away 4 relatively easy points. Clyde to just outside his own quarter line now. Move it to Jackson. Jackson across field, but he has Nicow hanging off him. He breaks the tackle of Nicow and makes another 10 metres upfield. Good run, Peter Jackson. And now Walters. They've got a roll on the Aussies. He gets it to near halfway. Langer into dummy half on the 5th. To Jackson. Jackson has runners. The long ball to Guy, picks it up beautifully and unloads to Wishart. Wishart couldn't handle. We'll have a scrum packed out. It was on the 5th tackle, so it'll be a turnover about 10 metres outside the quarter line. Now watch the handling of Guy here. Takes it one hand and unloads in the one movement to Wishart, who couldn't handle it. He had Watson sitting in his pocket. This is big Kevin Iro. Up the centre of the ruck and then loses the ball. Meninga will reclaim it for Australia. To Eddinghausen with a little bit of space. Iro had him around the legs, and that gave the defence time to move up on him. But there were danger signs there for the Kiwis. The Australians can see that they're going to move it. One pass off the ruckers, big Mark Geyer. Taken head on by Gary Mercer. Bella runs it over halfway.
The Kiwis are starting to show that weakness around the middle of the ruck that they showed in the second test. Their 2 defenders either side stand very wide.
Well, Langer already showing the indication that he's going to have big men running off him all night. First Clyde. First Geyer, I should say, and then Clyde. Jackson. Jackson looking to split them out wide. Some high tackles. He pops a great ball to Salvatore. Salvatore down on the 5th tackle. On the Kiwi quarter line. To Langer. Langer across field. They're holding off him. It's inside to Geyer with a little chip kick. It'll be cleaned up, and then Eddinghausen cleans Watson up in turn. Great stuff, the Aussies. They love that, the crowd, and why wouldn't they? Superb attacking football from the Australians, and they are really under pressure.
Yes, Alan Langer starting the movement here. The Kiwi defence electing to hang off him, but not for too long. Mark Geyer, as he was doing in the first test, trying to get off Alan Langer as much as possible, using a clever little chip kick, and once again, as the Australians did in Sydney, support players left, right and centre.
Wow, we rejoin live action as Salvatore is flattened by Iro. Bella.
And how long can New Zealand keep this up? They've made 48 tackles to Australia's 9.
No frilled football from the Aussies, but now they decide to throw it. Jackson had Daly on the inside, but pops a brilliant ball to Meninga. Meninga with space and support to Clyde. But his Canberra teammate is dragged out 5 metres out. Great stuff from the Aussie back line. Langer again, looking to set them alight. To Daly. Daly popping inside. There's holes in there. Where's the support? Daly could go all the way himself. He's dragged down a metre short. Walters burying across. But he's held up over the line. Well, he got away with it in the first test. When he scored a try on debut, it was the only try the Aussies scored.
Unfortunate for him being held up over the line there, Pat, but I think Steve took the wrong option on that case. Just wide of shot as we see Steve going for the line, but obviously trying to take on 4 defenders was a bit tough. The New Zealanders had 3 men covering about 40 metres of the paddock. Australia had around about 7 or 8 players in attack. If they could have got the ball wide, it was 4 points for sure.
Well, Roy, those statistics are amazing. After 15 minutes of play, the Kiwis have had to make 50 tackles as opposed to Australia's 9.
Exactly, Pat, and it's the territorial ratio is about 5 to 1 as well.
Well, finally, the Australians have to do some tackling. Watson driven back. Plenty of Australian defence there from Mercer. Former test winger now playing in the second row, Gary Mercer. Kevin Iro trying to beat his man. He can't beat Daly. Good defence, Laurie Daly, on the big man. And now the Australians guilty of lying all over the tackled player. Freeman earns a much-needed penalty for the Kiwis about 5 metres outside their own quarter line. Jackson in tackling first. Over the top came Steve Walters. They held him down too long in the eyes of referee John Holdsworth. The New Zealanders will bring it to just inside their own territory. Well, they'll run it wide, but the Australian defence is awake up to this. They've used it in both first and second test. They're not going to be caught out tonight. Friend. Kevin Iro trying to brush past Daly again. Boy, is this going to be a great clash tonight. Two of the finest young talents in rugby league. Australians creeping up inside the 5 there, but Holdsworth let them get away with it. Very quickly off the mark, and the Kiwis have been driven back. There comes Boddicker with plenty of time. Size up his kick. Eddinghausen takes it well over his shoulder. But there's plenty of Kiwi defence there for him, but he gives Wishart some space over in front of the main grandstand here at Lang Park. 4 points to nil and 17 minutes gone in this first half. Those 4 points all coming from the boot of Mel Meninga. Jackson about 5 or 6 metres outside his own quarter line. This is Bradley Clyde. Consistently breaks the first tackle. Well, a loose pass, but Steve Walters was being harassed then by Gary Freeman. The Australians have it only about 12 metres outside their own quarterway. Wow, big man on small man, and Bella manages to drag Freeman upfield. Martin Bella picked his mark and made a valuable 10 or 15 metres for his country. Langer, that ball will sit nicely for Boddicker. He turned his back on it, unfortunately. He beats the first tackle of Geyer, but can't beat Peter Jackson. Watson, as I said, in 3 positions in this test series. Started in the centres in Melbourne, went to 5'8" in Sydney, and is now on the wing tonight. The long ball from Brown. Watson is hitting a heavy tackle over there. Rod Wishart. Friend trying to get his forwards moving. That's Mercer popping a bad ball. The ball's gone to ground.
Well, Mercer didn't really want to take that tackle. The last thing he wanted to do was hit a green and goal wall.
Langer tried the big sidestep, but couldn't get away with it that time. 58 tackles the Kiwis have done, as you can see. They've really had a mountain of work to get through in the opening quarter of this match. To Bella. Bella and the big man, George man, lead head on. Boddicker's lost it back there. The ball has been knocked on back in play. And Holdsworth will pack a scrum down inside the Kiwi quarter line. So again, Wally, the Kiwis under tremendous pressure.
Yes, they are, but I don't think their coach would be terribly concerned about it. Bob Bailey, I think, would be hoping that his players can hang on a little bit. It seems to be getting a little bit like the test was in Melbourne, where Australia managed to throw a lot of pressure at New Zealand for about 10 or 15 minutes in the second half. New Zealand just grew in confidence. We may be about to see the same sort of thing happen. I don't think that for 1 minute that the Kiwis are going to run away with it like they did in Melbourne, but they're still going quite well.
Great work, Bradley Clyde there, pulling off 2 quick tackles after the scrum, as New Zealand had created the extra man on the blind side. Clyde there cleaning up the situation. Freeman seeing open spaces down towards the Australian quarter line. Eddinghausen will have the pace to get across. And there's plenty of Kiwi defence, and Kevin Iro seems fired up tonight. He's been heavily involved. His centre partner, Jared McCracken, was in there to make the tackle. Daly with a half break in the centre of the ruck, but it quickly closed. Brent Todd was the man who closed it. Bella. It's good work, Gary Mercer. Bella's about 15 kilos heavier. Now there's space for the Australians. Great hands, Meninga to Daly. On the inside to his skipper. Here's Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen has Geyer with him, but he dummies. He's going to go all the way, Eddinghausen. No, he's not to Khan. Khan is over. That's a great Australian try. What a try, Australia. Set up by the Canberra connection of Laurie Daly and Mel Meninga. I thought E.T. had the pace to outsprint them, but he had support in Willie Kahn. And Australia lead 8 points to 0 here at Lang Park. And that is a superb Australian four-pointer.
Yes, the try being set up by Australia's back line domination. Again, some great skills involved in this play. The pass inside from Daly Meninga was very commendable. Once again, Australia's support play. If you could get some youngsters to watch this game, support play is what Australia is showing at the moment. Some magnificent passing under pressure, and there's just 2 or 3 Australians available for every pass.
And we've got to give some credit to the New Zealand defence, nevertheless, after this overlap has established itself further down the field. The New Zealand cover defence do come across in Australia's quarter, and I bet they'll wake up tomorrow morning with green and gold sock fibres in their fingertips.
Well, you can see, Roy, where Alan Langer started that movement. It was just outside the Australian quarter line. So what a great try it was. And let's have a look at the handling of the Canberra connection here. Daly had options on the outside, but saw his skipper looming. Meninga picked it up one-handed. And then inside to Eddinghausen, who dummy past Boddicker. And I thought then that he had the pace to go. Pops the speculator to Willie Kahn, and Willie Kahn has the pace to go across. And Bob Fulton sitting amidst the crowd. No smile yet.
Oh, Johnny Raper's got a big one on.
He knows they've picked the right side. They got it right for Sydney. Here's the angle for Meninga. This one a lot tougher than the previous 2. Only about 6 metres in from touch, just outside the quarter line. A couple of deep breaths for the Australian skipper. Oh, he's kicking superbly. Right over the black dot at Lang Park. Australia lead 10 points to 0 on the Subaru scoreboard.